Hello! In this video, I will be talking about the structure of a bill. A bill is made up of 15 elements, and we will go through each one. First, when a bill is introduced in the House, it is assigned a number. There are government bills, which are 2 to 200, private members' bills, which are 201 to 1000, and private bills, which are 1000 and up. A bill introduced in the House of Commons begins with a C, and a bill introduced in the Senate begins with an S. For example, Bill C-47 originated in the House of Commons. The first part of a bill is the title. In your work, always use the official or long title of a bill, since a short title has not yet been approved. Next is the preamble. These are not included in every bill. It sets out Parliament's reasoning. For example, shown here is a preamble to Bill C-6, which is an act respecting the safety of consumer products. Number 4. Shown here is an enacting clause. It is a short phrase that introduces the main provisions of a law enacted by a legislature. The enacting clause is always the same, but will change only if a king succeeds Queen Elizabeth II. Number 5. A clause is a section of a bill. Every statute has at least one clause, and some may even have thousands. Shown here is interpretive provisions. These contain statutory definition. They're usually found in Section 2 of the bill, but may also be found throughout various sections like the Criminal Code. Next is the coming into force provisions. They will tell you when the bill, if passed, will come into force. It is usually found near the end of the bill. These provisions can tell you 4 things. They can specify that the Act comes into force on the day it receives royal assent, will come into force on a specific date, will come into force on a date to be proclaimed, or will come into force when certain conditions are met, for example, following the coming into force of another act or the signing of a treaty. Keep in mind that many but not all bills contain these provisions. Usually, if there is no specific proclamation date, the Act comes into force on the royal assent date. You can also check the Interpretation Act to find out when the statute would normally come into force. Parliament also has the power to make an Act apply retrospectively, or from a date earlier than the date on which it was actually passed. The next part of a bill is called the schedules. These are located at the end of the bill. They do not appear in every bill, and they are to detail further information, such as list of marks protected by Bill C-47 and the Olympic and Paralympic Marks Act if adopted. And here's an example of schedules on Bill C-47. Following the schedules, you may see an explanatory note, which is not included in every bill. It is the unofficial part of a bill that explains a section or sections in more detail, as you can see in the following examples. This is Bill C-47, the Olympic and Paralympic Marks Act, and it contains this explanatory note, which explains Section 14 in further detail. Number 10. The summary appears at the beginning of most bills and provides a short, unofficial summary of the bill. Number 11. Look at the marginal notes to help you navigate your way through the text of the bill. Next is underlining and vertical lines. Where a bill modifies an existing statute, these are sometimes used to emphasize the suggested modifications. Headings. These are like marginal notes in that they help you navigate your way through the text of a bill. Complex bills tend to include a table of contents or a table of provisions. Finally, the last part of a bill is a royal recommendation. It provides the Governor-General's permission to the government to spend money. It is normally not a part of a bill introduced by a private member. Such bills cannot force the government to spend money. In this example, Bill C-6 contains the following recommendation preceding the summary. And we're done. Please continue with the remainder of the learning module.